Welcome friends, to Ninth Observation, a channel that tastefully retells my stories from traveling the US for work. Every story, 100% real, is written myself, the sole operator of this channel. Buckle in, because this tale is worth the telling. The time I drank at Al Capone's secret pool. It was in late winter of 2019 when we were on our way to Cleveland to install some machines for a new Amazon facility that was being constructed. We were used to traveling and staying in low to mid-range hotels, but this time it was different. I checked my email for the hotel reservations when we were nearing the city. Tudor Arms Hotel? We had never heard of this place, so I did a quick search to find out more. The Tudor Arms Hotel is a historic building in Cleveland, Ohio, that has a rich and varied past. It was designed by Frank B. Mead, a prominent architect who specialized in Tudor-style buildings, and opened in 1933 as the Cleveland Club, an exclusive social club for the city's elite. The club featured luxurious amenities such as a swimming pool, a bowling alley, a library, and two grand ballrooms with vaulted ceilings, crystal chandeliers, and hand-painted murals. However, the club could not survive the Great Depression and closed its doors in 1939. The building was then converted into the Tudor Arms Hotel, which became a popular entertainment venue for jazz musicians and performers such as Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, Lawrence Welk, and Patrice Wymore. The hotel also attracted some notorious guests, such as Al Capone, who had his own private pool in the basement. In 1960, the hotel's reputation declined and it was taken over by Western Reserve University and Case Institute of Technology, which used it as a dormitory for graduate students. In 1971, the building was leased to the Cleveland Job Corps, which occupied it until 2007. In 2011, the building was restored and reopened as the Tudor Arms Hotel Cleveland. I was stunned to see that a couple of rough and tough installers were going to be lodging somewhere that would be suitable for dignitaries. It still is today hands double down the fanciest, most opulent, beautiful, and spacious place I have ever been. We're talking drunk French king levels of grandeur, and it would be ours to explore and enjoy for a week. Also, on some sites I saw pictures of its cavernous basement and read the tale of Al Capone's pool. I relayed that information to my coworker, and we agreed it would be our mission to locate and verify its existence. So I punched in the address and we excitedly traveled on down the road. We arrived, valeted the work van, and were not left unimpressed upon check-in. There was a brief introduction about the building from the clerk, and we were handed room keys. As we headed off to unpack, I was more and more enchanted every step deeper into its royal halls. We got settled in, poured some cocktails, and headed out to inventory exactly what we had gotten into. There were hand-painted murals, ballrooms, suites, and what seemed like endless nooks and crannies, all adorned in the finest wood and stone. There were a few levels in the main area accessible by a beautiful staircase and an elevator to access other levels. It was after a couple hours of libation and exploring that we discovered, behind a door, a very long staircase that descended into relative darkness and knew what must be done. So we headed back to the room to top off our refreshments and do just a little more research on the basement. Really all we could find is that his pool is small, and there is a painting of a dolphin on its far wall. Allegedly the whole reason he wanted a private pool is he was shy in his bathing suit, and wanted to keep away from prying eyes. Anyways, we headed back downstairs, to the basement door, and headed down to see what there is to be seen. When we arrived at the bottom, we found ourselves in what appeared to be the facility's workshop. There were tools and different spare parts, and also a few doorways. After discerning that the coast was clear, we began what would be nights of exploring. It turns out this basement is really 3 levels deep. There was the main level, which had a very large swimming pool. The upper level, which was like a promenade around the pool. and a super creepy and dark third level that was underneath the pool, where you could see its multiple antique heaters and lots of other infrastructure. As this was a former club for the elites, there's a lot to see, and it took us hours that first night before deciding to head back up. Some time passed after that first night. As obligatory tourist destinations in Cleveland, we visited the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to play their vintage pinball machines, and Shark's Deli to do some lacing up. The job was soon finished, and we had a free night before heading back home. It was on this night that we made what I thought would be the final descent into the basement. We also discovered that the elevator would take you all the way down, which made it easier to avoid the creeping down the stairs. Eventually, after making our way through the maze of yesteryear, we noticed something at the very back of the women's locker room. It was a door, and this door led to Al Capone's pool. How we had not noticed it earlier didn't matter now, because clear as day I was looking at the dolphin mural that was depicted on the website. It was very strange and interesting to take in the fact that I was now stories beneath the earth under a majestic Tudor hotel, drinking in Scarface's private pleasure pool. We took pictures, hung out, and drank until it was time for dinner. Then we made our way out and back upstairs, saying goodbye to this historical and slightly ominous relic, leaving it in its damp darkness as we had found it. This is where the story gets good. After dinner, I stopped at the valet work van to grab another bag to pack my things, and then went immediately to bed. At 3 a.m. I awoke and discovered my phone was nowhere to be found. I looked and looked but could not locate it, so I thought where it might be. Then I remembered hanging out in Capone's pool earlier. Oh no! I was going to have to go all the way down into the dark abandoned basement by myself at 3 a.m. into the Valentine's Day Massacre's former hideout. And the flashlight I was using earlier was dead, and with no phone I had no light at all to assist in my endeavor. But we were leaving early tomorrow, and it had to be done. So I made my way as I had the nights before, but without any of the excitement and joy, replaced by dread and adrenaline. The elevator's doors opened, and thankfully no one was down there. The sense of times gone by was so strong down there by yourself. I could almost hear the splashing of patrons, the striking of cigar lighters, billiard balls breaking. It felt like I was time trespassing. The going was a lot slower with such limited lighting, but fortunately I had learned the layout nights prior. I immediately went to Capone's pool room and searched in the darkness for a while with no luck. We had gone deep into the very bottom level the night prior, so I had to check there as well. As I made my way below the pool and past the antique furnaces, I recalled the original Home Alone and Kevin's run-in with the basement furnace. It only attacked him when he was alone, and I hoped that my fate would not be the same. After about 20 minutes of searching, there was still no sight of the phone, and I resigned the mission to defeat, and headed back up to my room to get back asleep. I made it out unscathed, and that was enough. The morning came, and I packed up my things and headed to breakfast. The dining area was beautiful, fit for the likes of Marie Antoinette. It was so striking to me in that moment, the contrast between the discomfort of the basement at 3 a.m. and the grandiose breakfast I was now enjoying. What a magical hotel. My coworker eventually joined me as I recalled the night's events to him, and we laughed about the circumstances. It was then we loaded up the van, and as I get into the passenger seat, I see my phone in the cup holder. I had put it there last night after dinner and forgot to grab it. All of the tense Ghost Adventures activity I had to endure could have been totally negated had I been more mindful. That is a story I'll never forget, and am supremely grateful for the chance to live it. Cruising around an abandoned elite club beneath a hotel by yourself at 3 a.m. isn't something you do every day, and I hope to never do it again. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the story. What did you think about it? Leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Like and subscribe for more. This has been Ninth Observation. Until next time.